High in the sky, an unconscious man hurtles at breakneck speed. His name is Royce. Just in the nick of time, he awakens, deploying his parachute mere moments before crashing through the thick jungle canopy and losing consciousness upon impact. Royce regains consciousness shortly, bewildered about his whereabouts, yet relieved to find his mercenary gear intact. Suddenly, another man plummets nearby. Cuchillo, a member of a Mexican cartel, takes aim at Royce, but their confrontation is cut short as a third man crashes to the ground, his parachute malfunctioning, causing his demise. In an instant, a hail of bullets rains down on them, prompting Royce to evade and swiftly outmaneuver their assailant. Nikolai, a Russian commando, is the mysterious shooter. Like Royce and Cuchillo, he was inexplicably transported to this jungle, his last memory being at war. Their bewilderment deepens when they encounter Isabel, an Israeli Defense Forces sniper, aiming her weapon at them. She too had been inexplicably brought here and witnessed others falling from the sky. With shared uncertainty about their circumstances, they reach a consensus to journey together, unaware that Hanzo, the Yakuza member, is covertly shadowing their movements. As they delve deeper into the jungle, they encounter a fierce skirmish between two men. Stans, a death row inmate, and Mombasa, a rebel from a South African organization. The brawlers cease hostilities upon the group's arrival, acknowledging the strength and unity. Stans draws their attention to Dr. Edwin, ensnared in a tree by his parachute. Royce takes action, liberating Edwin with a well-aimed shot that severs the obstructing branch, causing Edwin to plunge into a nearby lake. Like the rest, Edwin is perplexed about their predicament and surroundings. While they continue their journey, Isabel endures Stan's unsettling remarks. Their path leads them to Hanzo, who isn't ensnared but instead remains frozen, fixated on an eerie totem adorned with bones. Mombasa speculates that it's a trophy collection, a sign of respect in his culture. Nikolai believes it's a test, though Isabel dismisses this idea, given their diverse backgrounds. Cuchillo suggests it might be a ransom, and Stans contemplates an experiment. Suddenly, they ponder whether they're in the afterlife. Royce silences them, emphasizing the need to escape. The group follows his lead, though Nikolai's curiosity is halted by Edwin, who prevents him from touching a poisonous flower, promising to protect him in the future. Further into their journey, Isabel crafts an improvised compass from natural materials, but it only spins in circles. Royce observes that the sun has remained stationary since their arrival, making navigation challenging. Royce reveals his theory to the group, suggesting that their unique and dangerous skills weren't coincidental. They were chosen for a purpose. Isabel speculates on Royce's military background before his mercenary days, but he remains tight-lipped. Continuing their journey, they stumble upon an empty cage, apparently dropped alongside them, with bloodstains hinting at a previous inhabitant. Above, they notice multiple cages tangled in the trees, signifying they're not alone in this predicament. Their progress takes an ominous turn when Mombasa activates a trap, setting off a barrage of deadly mechanisms, a massive swinging tree trunk, falling wooden stakes, and a colossal bear trap. Miraculously, they evade them all. Isabel narrowly escapes falling into a hole, with Royce saving her just in time. She uses her weapon scope to locate the trap setter, discovering a decomposed body. Edwin identifies the corpse as a former USA Special Forces soldier. Royce deduces the traps weren't intended for them, but for a much larger threat. As they resume their journey, Mombasa senses something lurking in the trees, though he chooses to ignore it. Unbeknownst to them, someone with infrared technology eavesdrops and repeats their conversations. Upon reaching the jungle's edge, they gaze at the sky, revealing an astonishing sight. Unfamiliar planets and stars, signifying they're not on Earth. Determined to find their captors and demand answers, Royce insists they locate those responsible for their predicament. Re-entering the jungle, a drone swoops close to their heads, unnerving Stans, who bemoans his lack of firearms and even threatens Mombasa for one. Just as tensions rise, growls emanate from the jungle, and a fearsome beast charges toward them. The group opens fire, quickly dispatching the creature, but more of its kind emerges. Lacking firearms, Edwin and Stans flee, with Edwin tripping and narrowly escaping a monster due to Isabel's sharpshooting. Nikolai and Hanzo gun down another beast, while Royce takes out one with just a knife. Stans, engaged in a perilous struggle, is saved by Mombasa's timely shots. Edwin takes to a tree, and Isabel faces imminent danger, but contemplates self-deletion when a whistle from deep within the jungle causes all the beasts to retreat. Reuniting, the group realizes they are being hunted, with the creatures serving as tracking dogs. The whistle acts as a recall signal, revealing the planet as a massive hunting ground where captives are the prey. Concerned for a missing member, Cuchillo's cries for help lead the group to him, but Royce's caution prevails. A thrown stone confirms it's a trap, and the group reluctantly acknowledges there's nothing they can do for Cuchillo, dismissing Isabel's protests. As the men depart, Isabel decides to end Cuchillo's agony and fires her weapon, but to her shock, Cuchillo's pleas for help persist. It dawns on them that Cuchillo had been dead all along, and the voice was a recording manipulated by the shadowy hunter who now watches them. Continuing their journey, Royce pieces together limited clues to deduce the hunter's tactics, encouraging them to run. He suggests they follow the dog tracks and reach the hunter first. Soon they come across a gruesome camp, strewn with bodies of various races and the remains of creatures, confirming that humans aren't the sole prey. At the camp's rear, they encounter a monstrous, tied-up creature known as a predator. Isabel has an odd reaction to it, and Nikolai pokes the alien, revealing it's still alive and roaring. Isabel urges an immediate exit, but Royce vanishes. Suddenly, a volley of spears emerges, killing Mombasa. Royce emerges from the shadows, firing wildly. Their combined firepower unveils the hunter, also a cloaked predator, and the group flees as the predator uses lasers, creating explosions and flames in their wake. Noland, who's been aware of the group since their arrival, alerts them to an impending storm and leads them to his hideout, an old broken ship. Noland, a former military man, was dropped on this planet in a box a decade ago and is the sole survivor of that group. He has endured scavenging from the predators and their victims, though the isolation has taken a toll on his mental state, leading to conversations with an imaginary friend. Nolan imparts some knowledge about the predators, having killed a few themselves. He emphasizes the need to hide the human heat signature to avoid detection and mentions the enmity between big and small predators, explaining the captured one they saw. New victims arrive each season, and the predators evolve with new technology and tactics. Royce realizes there must be a ship if predators return each season, and he believes they could potentially use the captured predator to pilot it. Meanwhile, the group shares personal stories and secrets. However, when Nolan mysteriously disappears and smoke fills the room, suspicion arises. Edwin believes Nolan might be attempting to harm them for their possessions. Royce strategically creates a disturbance to attract a nearby predator's attention. Nolan, blocked by the predator, meets his end as the creature obliterates him with its lasers. The predator breaches the room, taunting the group. Royce shoots a flare through the hole, revealing the predator's absence. They escape through dark corridors, but lose Edwin. He signals for help with a flare, attracting the predator. Edwin flees, rejoining the group, but they abandon him. The predator confronts Edwin, and Nikolai intervenes. A brief struggle ensues. The predator mortally wounds Nikolai, who triggers a detonator, causing an explosion that kills them both. The group narrowly escapes the ship. Outside, Stans jubilantly celebrates. A hidden predator decloaks and knocks him down. The predator was about to deliver the killing blow to Royce when Stans jumped on it and started stabbing it with his knife, urging the others to run. The predator was furious at losing its prey and threw Stans to the ground, ripping out his spine. It then roared, getting the attention of the third predator, which started following the tracks left by the running group. Recognizing they're being trailed, Hanzo insists the others leave while he remains to slow down their pursuer. As the trio departs, Hanzo, shedding his jacket, unsheathes his katana. He meets the predator, both warriors ready for combat. In a fierce duel, Hanzo is occasionally overpowered by the predator's might, but manages to wound it by slicing its abdomen. In a final exchange, both adversaries strike each other simultaneously, collapsing together, their lives extinguished. Meanwhile, Edwin triggers a trap, rendering him immobile. Royce suggests leaving or setting a booby trap, but Edwin reveals Nikolai's family picture, pretending they're his kids. Isabel refuses to abandon or harm Edwin. Royce decides to go alone. Royce reaches the camp and negotiates with the captured predator, offering freedom in exchange for leaving the planet. The predator, confirming its understanding, releases Royce from its grasp after a close examination and retrieves its mask, reactivating its equipment. The predator displays a star map on its arm brace, pinpointing Earth as their destination, sealing the deal before summoning its spaceship. Meanwhile, Isabel assists Edwin, but they trigger a trap and are ensnared in a net. The third predator apprehends them, dragging them back to camp and tossing them into a pit. Observing the two predators fighting, Royce seizes the opportunity to sprint toward the ship. As the spacecraft launches, the predators continue their battle, with the pursuing one eventually overpowering its adversary, decapitating it, and destroying the ship. In the pit, Isabel, unable to speak due to poison paralysis, is attacked by Edwin, who reveals his psychopathic nature, embracing the monstrous environment and seeking to stay on the planet. Royce intervenes in time, aiding them out of the pit. He subdues Edwin with the poison, booby-trapping him, and leaves him for the predator. As the predator approaches Edwin, it activates grenades that kill the doctor, ignite a fire, and send the predator flying. Upon recovering, the predator encounters Royce, who manipulates the flames to disrupt the alien's infrared vision. Royce wields an axe, circling the predator, striking it, and dashing into the flames to repeat the process. After enduring a series of blows, the predator switches its focus to locate Royce's heartbeat and fires at the tree he's using as cover, injuring him. The alien begins tossing Royce around, poised to deliver the killing blow. But just before it can finish him off, Isabel, despite her injuries, crawls to reach her weapon and takes a shot at the predator. The creature is wounded but still alive, retaliating by firing a dagger that pierces Isabel's shoulder. Seizing the momentary distraction, Royce retrieves his axe and unleashes a series of relentless strikes against the predator. Finally, he puts an end to the battle by decapitating the alien. Royce then reunites with Isabel, and together they observe more cages descending from the sky. Recognizing the need to depart soon, Royce declares they must find a way to escape.